Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us, and please subscribe and hit the notification. Today what we're going to be doing is a June week 2 check-in. See how we're doing for the month. I'm going to be super honest, not well. But let's go ahead and get started. So today my daughter is moving back out of the house. My house is torn up, and actually it's making me a little crazy. But I'm happy for her, but I'm very sad that she is taking her dog with her. I love this, her little dog. So when we look at June, what has cleared the account so far is all of my bills that come out on the 1st, which is our mortgage, the cell phone. My daughters have paid their bills. Pest control and HOA are kind of a sinking fund right now because they're not due until July and August. Telephone has come out, and then the rest of the bills have not come out yet, but they will soon. So here's how I'm doing with my cash envelopes. So I live in Arizona. Right now we have a huge spike in cases of coronavirus, and we are almost at capacity in beds in hospitals. So I don't know that if we're going to go back into a shutdown situation or quarantine situation. I know that we are being very cautious. So I went ahead and took out the cash for the second part of the month. I may need to reevaluate in July on what the situation is. There are still places that really don't like to take cash. They will, but they would prefer you use a card and kind of a touchless transaction. Okay, so groceries, I am way over. I'm not really sure. So I've only had HelloFresh once for the month. I canceled the other one because I didn't really like the meal. And then I've canceled it for the rest of this month. So for the next 2.5 weeks, we have $95 in groceries, which we do have food here. It should be fine. For eating out, we actually did pretty well until this last week. So I have $131 left in that envelope, but I actually really don't have that much because I spent $51 last night. Went and picked up pizza and salad, so you'll see where that came out. Giving, we are going back to church tomorrow, so I went ahead and left the giving money in the account. I think I'll probably either just write a check or go ahead and still do my online giving because I think at this point we're a go forward, but we'll see. For recreation, I haven't spent anything yet. The movie theaters were supposed to open a week ago. Now, maybe next week. So we'll see how that goes. Household, I did spend $49 of my $50. We had to replace 2 appliances, a skillet and the air fryer. So I still need to replace the skillet. In personal care, I have $15 left in that envelope, and craft supplies, we'll talk about that, and allowance is $100. So let's go ahead and get started. I did make a new set of envelopes because I just kind of wanted to refresh them. And these are from our shop, Pretty Productive. And I did go ahead and make a savings envelope. So when I know I have to put money back into the account because I spent money on my card and I need to replace it, it's going to go into savings, and then I know to take this one back. So I have personal care, groceries, household. This one has not been an envelope, but I went ahead and made it an envelope because I think that makes sense. Craft supplies, recreation, allowance, eating out, and giving. So we're going to start with eating out. So I had $31 in here as of yesterday, and then I went and picked up money, and then I went and picked up pizza and salads. So I spent $51 at Streets of New York, so that leaves me $80 to fund for the rest of the month for eating out. Go ahead and put this out. Now my bank still has it where you wait kind of outside. It's inside of a store, so you have to kind of still wait outside of the teller area, and they let you in kind of one by one. So that part has remained the same. which is fine. It just took a little bit longer than I had thought it was going to. Okay, so for eating out, I'm going to put in 80. And I went ahead and wrote it on my envelope last night just so I wouldn't get confused and put more money in than I was supposed to. And then I do save my receipts in the back until the end of the month. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do going forward. We still aren't going to restaurants because it's such a long wait, but we'll see. So for allowance, I think I have like $9 in my wallet right now. So I get 50 this week and 50 next week. And I break it up as 2 20s and a 10. So this will go into the envelope for next week, into the allowance envelope. And this 50 will go into my wallet. Like it's payday today, right? I'm gonna put giving back over here. So for recreation, I had budget $100 for this envelope. I still have 50 because we haven't been able to really do anything. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other 50 in, but I may at the end of the month, based on what's happening, I may end up just putting that back into savings, or I will leave it in here for July, see if we are able to do a little bit more next month. Craft supplies. So I had $200 in this fund. I put $100 into the envelope at the beginning of the month, and I was supposed to put another $100 in. I ended up having to put $70 back into the account because I did an online order, and then I have spent every other dollar in here. So, well, no, I take that back. There's $41 left in this, like this budget, but I spent that. So I spent that this morning. So this is empty. At the end of the day, that is empty. Household, this budget was $100. I did have to buy a filter, so I have $1 left in here. I'm gonna put another 50. Oh, okay. I left it in the account because I have to order it on Amazon. I couldn't find it here. So that was what that is. So I'm going to leave that $1 in there for now. And then groceries gets 95. Maybe. So the rest of this is groceries. My budget for the month was $250. I did go over my cash envelope amount, and so I was negative $32 in this. I just took that out of the money I was going to remove for this envelope. So at the end of the day, it's 13th, I have 95, and I'm just going to write 95 as my balance because I do 250 in the beginning and 250 in the end of the month or the mid-month. And so I already dipped out of that 250 that I should have stuffed into the envelope today. So I hope that makes sense. We did stock up on meat, and we stocked up on like paper supplies. We hadn't bought it since this whole pandemic first started. So the Costco run was a little bit more than we had thought we would need, which was $91. Now Costco can get you. And then in personal care, I have 15 left in this envelope, and I'm going to leave that in there for next month. I've had a massage already this month and a pedicure, so I don't need anything else. And then savings, it will depend on the end of the month. So those are the cash envelopes. I'm going to go ahead and put them back in here. I also decided to have gifts and bank as a different one. So savings could be you know, I'm taking it back to the bank, or I could put that in bank, or I could just keep savings. If I have money left over, or I get money that I'm not expecting, I'll just put it in savings. But really, it should go in back into the account. But right now, that's kind of how I'm handling it. And then these go right back into, and this is the Muldrin Filofax. Okay, so that's where we are right now. I did want to go back on my fixed expenses. So I did receive my bills for the ones that I was waiting on. So for my electric bill, I had estimated $400, and that was based on last year, but mainly on the fact that there were 3 of us here working from home, and it actually came in at $250. So it was, I took $150 and put it back into my account. And I'm just gonna let that $150 roll over because I know July is gonna be high. It's 109 this weekend. So we really have escalated on the heat. So the air conditioning's been on all day long. The other one that came through was the gas bill. It's $31. I had estimated $32, so it pretty much was spot on. In my medical fund, I have so far spent $88, so I still have money there, and I haven't spent anything for clothing this month. And then for my sinking funds, my $200 in my vacation has been moved over. So this is my new balance. Christmas and gifts has not been moved over. Computer is going to be a little bit of a different. So when I started the shop, I bought a laptop, and my daughter's been using it. So she just now, because she was moving out, she didn't want to take the one from the shop, so she purchased a laptop. She bought a MacBook Air. So I now have the laptop for the shop, which is what I needed it for. So I think I'm just going to leave this as it is and just keep it there in case we need something else that's big for the shop, versus buying a laptop right now because this one is working perfectly for me. My emergency fund, I have not moved this money yet. It's scheduled to move at the end of the month. And then this is what I've taken out of birthday and Christmas so far. And all of the income has come in. Okay, so that is our week 2 check-in. So it's kind of all over the board. I already know I'm going to go over in groceries probably and eating out. Now, it will be different without my daughter here. My husband and I tend to eat super simply. With her, we were doing supplementing the HelloFresh meals, where normally for 2 of us it's plenty of food, but for 3 it's stretching it. And she tends to like different foods. So I tend to pick up her groceries when I'm picking up our groceries. I told her she's had it pretty easy, but it's been great for her to move home. She was able to save, pay off some bills. She paid off her car. Now that she's moving out again, she's in a much better financial position than she was when she was out of the house before. So I'm super excited for her that she stayed really on task and really used this time as a catch-up time and to pay things off. I am going to miss her, obviously, and I'm going to miss her dog as well, too. Okay, so I will be back at the end of the month for a budget recap total, and hope you are all doing well and staying safe and making all of your financial goals come true. Thank you so much for watching.